Hey, everybody, and welcome to our show. It's called Tournament Horse Racing. Here's what we've done. Excuse me. My name is Rich Sharp, and I'll be your host for tonight's show. Here's what we've done. We've taken the horse racing calendar, we've broken that up into four separate tournaments throughout the year. Each of those tournaments consists of about 10 racing days, and that's actually what you're watching tonight is one of those individual racing days. An individual racing day consists of four races at one select track. Each of our handicappers or horse players will be going ahead and making a $2 mythical win place bet in each one of those four races. And simply put, whoever wins the most money wins that day's tournament. We keep track of the money throughout those 10 tournaments. Whoever wins the most money over those 10 tournaments is the winner of that individual tournament. Now, we actually keep track throughout the entire year. We'll have a year end champion as well, and that gives you an idea of what we're doing here on tournament horse racing. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring in our horse racing analysts, actually also my friends. They live throughout the country. One of them is actually not too far away from me tonight. He lives here in Temecula, California. Joe English, what's new and exciting in your world?
Oh boy, new and exciting. Made plans today to go to Vegas for a day in March for my wife's birthday, and wife and daughter are going to go see Katy Perry
I thought you
at
were, yeah,
Resorts World,
further brandishing
and
your credentials as husband, father of the year when I saw that one.
yeah, and I've got a surprise for my son if he earns it. We'll talk about that. But other than that, everything's pretty much status quo. How are you doing?
All right, let's swing all the way across the country. I really thought he'd be showing up like maybe in a parka, some kind of heavy wool material or something like that, because he's actually out in Staten Island, New York, which is gonna get cold this weekend. Ray Torado, hey, you know what? What's going on? How you staying warm out there in New York?
Just staying in the house.
I bet.
Bur- burning the
It's
racing flag.
right now it's around 74 degrees in my house, so it's not too bad.
Oh, there you go.
Uh,
Stay, like I
It's
said,
10
stay in.
it's 10 outside, so
Stay
yeah.
inside.
And
That's a good idea.
couple days of the cold. It's not so bad. It'll warm up again. We'll see 40 and 50 soon, so
Did the
uh,
did what's his name see his shadow, the groundhog?
yeah, you saw his shadow, yeah. But they're blind anyway, so
Yeah,
Never
we've
mind.
got you got 6 more weeks of winter coming.
I think they
Apparently,
lost
so
their eyesight.
the Punxsutawney
Hmm.
Phil. All right,
I tell
before
you, the
go ahead.
winters right now, I'll take it. I mean, winters has been good so far. No snow. 300 and something days of not at what do you call it, like and an inch, not even an inch.
Okay, something's really weird when there's been more snow in the past year in Las Vegas than
Yeah.
has been.
Yeah.
That's just
All right.
Mhm.
All right. So before we get to our last week's roundup and go ahead and start our handicapping, we'll give a little bit of a special acknowledgement to that guy right there, and he's actually right here behind me as well. And that would be Mr. Irad Ortiz, who, as Joe and Ray and myself were discussing just before we got on the show, took 7 races today at Gulfstream Park down there in Florida, which is incidentally where we're handicapping tonight. He didn't just take 7 races; he took 7 in a row. Uh,
Mm. The pick seven.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
thought we were acknowledging Steve, but okay.
Okay, so here we go. We are going to go over to our results from last week. Again, we were actually at Gulfstream Park last week, and I'm sorry. I guess Joe should has mentioned it with that. We actually are down a man tonight. Normally, this was a 4-man crew. Stephen Newsom is a part of our team. He is not available tonight, but we will have picks from Steve before tomorrow's races, so he gets included in the tournament as well. Thank you for reminding me about that, Joe. And we are taking a look at what happened last week at Gulfstream Park. We're a little heavy on Florida here at the start of the tournament. And as you see there, look at that. Joe English puts up a big number as far as tournament horse racing is concerned, $45.40. Actually, a shout out to Steve Newsom. Steve didn't do bad. He put up $20 as well. And then you've got me and Ray trailing behind there. So. We'll go over here to our early summary after 1 week there at Gulfstream Park for Pegasus World Cup. As Joe is our winner, and again, $45. Steve's in second, and me and Ray will be looking to get on the board today, February 4th, which is tomorrow. They're down in Hollandale Beach, Florida, which is the location for Gulfstream Park. It is Holy Bull Day. We are going to go ahead and we will start with race number 9. If I had a drink in my hands, Ray and Joe, we'd be toasting right now to Kitten's Joy. We lost him last year. I believe he was one of the favorite sires here, not only in horse racing in general, but he got a lot of mentions on this show as well. So we'll drink one to you, Kitten's Joy. Going a mile and a 16th on the turf course there at Gulfstream Park. It is the Kitten's Joy Stakes, Grade 3. Purse is $175,000. It's for 3-year-olds only, and your morning line favorite is in post number 4, Major Dude, trained by Todd Pletcher and ridden by, yeah, guess who? Irad Ortiz, and he is 5-2 right now on the Gulfstream Park morning line. Joe, you're our big winner from last week, which means you're going to go first this week. You'll be handing off to Ray.
No worries. And yeah, if you think you're getting 5-2, probably not. Well, I guess we'll have to see. There are 8 races tomorrow before this restarts, so maybe Irad will cool off and only win 4 of the first 8.
Possible.
And maybe this race will go off at 5-2. I'm actually on the inside runner for one candidate for Arno De La Car and Tyler Gaffalione, who's the 3-1 second choice in the morning line. I love where this horse drew. He had the rail in the Dania Beach last time, and he won impressively. He should be on the lead again. The rails are out at 35 feet, as you can see, above his PPs. So generally that has a tendency to favor speed horses as well. He's got a strong late kick. The 2 races I watched, he opens up when he hits the lane, and pretty much nobody has much of a chance behind him. He's got a really wicked kick. And the other thing is he's probably not going to be favored considering the kind of day that Irad had today. And again, if he wins 2 or 3 or 4 tomorrow before this restarts, everybody's going to be just running to the window to bet the other horse. So maybe I can get 7-2 on candidate. Give me the 1, Ray.
I'm right next to you. I went with the 2, Sozak, I guess you can call it Sozak. Grand Motion. You know, this horse comes from France, and he looks like he won 3 in a row over there. So the racing in Europe is pretty good. He had 1 race here. He ran the same race at Dana Beach. Had a little trouble. Hit the rail, just say upper and bump at the start or whatever. He ran 5th by 7. So give him a little acclamation to U.S. soil, and I give him another chance. He's 8-1, so with Rosario, he rode him last time, so he stayed on him, so that's a positive. And I'll take a shot, try and catch the 1. The 1's gonna be tough to beat, like Joe said. So hopefully with the second race off the layoff, and second race at Gulfstream, and maybe you know will do better. So I expect improvement from Sozak. Rich.
That's interesting. On my notes, if anybody could see what I've actually got on there, I actually did pick the 2. That's my big number there. And then in case I ran into any trouble where I thought maybe I was being the same as everybody else, I actually have the 1 down in smaller notation. So either way, I'm picking one of your guys' horses. Exactly what Ray said. I'm actually a big fan of this angle. Always, keep going east. Further east, the better. And if you got to go all the way across the pond, that's okay as well. In addition to what Ray said, adding on the 3 wins in a row and all that stuff, I did see the names of Anna Karenine and Denmark. Both good horses who, if I'm not mistaken, have actually made appearances over here in the United States. That would be the only reason I've seen them before. So those are both solid horses that this horse has come up against. Beat Denmark and then just finishes 3/4 of a length behind Karenine. And so I decided that with Graham Motion and Joel Rosario, And again, with the overseas pedigree, that I was willing to do a little bit of our classic angle, right? This is a little bit of forgiveness on that first try over here in the United States, and now that he's acclimated to Gulfstream Park, let's go ahead and give him a second try. So I went ahead with yeah, Suzak. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to pronounce that one, but I'm going to go with Suzak or Salzak. We're going to go ahead and we're going to move along to our second race in this sequence. It's going to be race number 10 here at Gulfstream Park. They're going 7 furlongs on the main track. It is the Forward Gal Stakes, a grade 3. Purse is $125,000. It's for filly 3-year-olds only. And your morning line favorite is here in post number 3, Atomically. Again, trained by Todd Pletcher, ridden by Jose Ortiz. 3-1 on the Gulfstream Park morning line. Mr. Torado, you're up first.
Yeah, she's interesting race though. Yeah, 3-year-olds, fillies, 7 furlongs. Well, this could be um a starting point for some of these horses that might want to go to the Oaks. They gotta start somewhere, so
Mhm.
more of a sprint. But yeah, I'm on the favorite here. Atomically with Ortiz and Pletcher. Um, her she broke a maiden very impressively at Gulfstream, 7 furlongs, and they stretched her out. And she actually won a two-turn race nicely with the Statebreds. Bears Cup Juvenile, grade 1. A little in deep with her. She was, only a leg and a half on the second call. She had a little trouble. And those are top class horses there. Won the wheel and leave no trace. Those are some damn good horses. But I think she's back to where she should be, sprinting. So, Todd usually does this. She tries them out, stretches them out. If it don't work out, there's always a home, sprinting. So, I think she'll do well here. So 3-1, yeah, I'm hoping for 2-1, 3-1, maybe. But at least to get some money, because right now I have zero. So,
Yeah,
but Jose Ortiz is very good on speed horses. He rides them well. Um, it's one of his main assets on a speed horse. So I'll take Atomically for Pletcher. Rich?
yeah, no arguments from me there. I didn't go that direction, but again, you're not going to see any arguments from me. That's a really, really solid horse. I did take a chance. I did peek our old strategy, right? Let's go ahead and handicap the back page first. And as you see there, this is almost Santa Anita like here in Southern California. That's 74%. So you definitely want to get to the front of this race as quickly as possible. I decided to go a little bit further outside, and I went with Red Carpet Ready, trained by Rusty Arnold, ridden by Luis Saez. And this horse is 2 for 2, so beware the undefeated horse, as we like to say here. And both of those races were on the dirt there at Churchill Downs. And as you see, the first one was in a 12-horse field, and the horse won by 10 lengths going away, geared down. You always like to see that. And you see in that second race, kind of showed a little bit of a different ability, came maybe from a little bit off the pace in the Fern Creek, which is just a little $200,000 race there. Again, at Churchill Downs back there in November. Has had a little bit of time off, but this is a really, really solid horse. And unfortunately, because in the first race I couldn't find anybody from there, here I had to look in the dirt race. Couldn't find a horse that is actually sired by Kitten's Joys, but this one is the grandsire is Kitten's Joy. So Red Carpet Ready for me, and that's the 8 horse. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Joe.
All right, Rich, I'm a little to your outside. Give me the 9, Positano Sunset. 9-2 morning line. She's been facing some good ones for East Wilkes and Julian Lefroux. Um, pretty mischievous, 3 out of 4, and she won an ungraded stake with the Fairgrounds in her last start. The horse that she finished second to 2 starts back, uh, Julia Shining, Ray might remember or Ray might know, won the Demoiselle at a mile and an eighth at Aqueduct
Oh,
for
wow.
Todd Fletcher. So she's been facing some good horses. And as Rich mentioned, the track profile favors speed. and really kind of favors speed from the outside post position. And as much as Julian Leparoux gets a bad rap, this trainer jockey combination beats the takeout locally over a 5 year period. So obviously he doesn't. Again, he takes a lot of flack, and that's probably part of the reason he doesn't get bet. But I think their ROI is like 195 at Fairgrounds over 5 years. I'm sorry, Fairgrounds Gulfstream Park over 5 years. So give me the 9 Positano Sunset, hopefully to pull a slight upset in the forward gal. Rich.
Go ahead and punch in these numbers for us. All right, and we are ready to move into the final two races here on tonight's tournament. We're at race number 11. They are going a mile and a 16th on the turf. It is the Swedish Chance Stakes, a Grade 3. Purse is $175,000 again for 3-year-olds only, and your morning line favorite is in post number 7. That's Cairo Concert, trained by Todd Pletcher and ridden by Irad Ortiz. I feel like it's a broken record, right? Groundhog's Day. And that horse is 2-1 here on the Gulfstream Park morning line. And look at that. Without Steve here, that's going to be me going first. It looks like I got stuck on the number 8 here. I stayed away from the favorite one more time. Um, and I've got a thing for Brad Cox, apparently, as it's turned up these last couple of years. He's got Tyler Gaffleone aboard a horse who, again, beware that undefeated horse. The horse is by Candy. She is by Candy Ride. Won that first race at Indianapolis or at Indiana Downs. That's a 7-horse field. And again, geared down and then steps up to the competition there at Keeneland, going in a 1-mile race. It's an allowance race. But look at that purse. It's $110,000. It's a little mini stakes race with 12 horses that are in there with Florenzo Rue aboard. And again, the horse wins by 2 3/4 lengths. She's kind of stepping up, fits that broke guy's angle as she steps into a stakes race with Brad Cox and Tyler Gaffleone. If you look at Brad Cox, all of his numbers, every single one of his numbers in these types of races, they're all really good. And I decided to go ahead and take a little bit outside the main lane here. And I went with Heavenly Sunday, the 8-horse. Excuse me?
Oh,
I can
Rich, you
pause
don't
it.
have to go.
Joe?
Yeah, you're fine. You don't have to go anywhere. I'm on the same Philly. Like she shows a nice kick stretch. Like Rich mentioned, the way she just draws out. She's undefeated for that. Good. It's funny. That trainer jockey combination is not really widely known or used, but they still have a positive ROI, 2.35.
Wow.
Over 5 years.
2.35, huh? Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
That's pretty good.
that's just betting every horse they run together blindly.
Yeah.
And again, this is another horse, just like the other we were talking about Irad in the first turf race. Irad's going to be on the favorite here. It's Fletcher. It's Irad. She's going to go favorite. This horse is going to go 5-1, maybe even more. You might get more out of it. So, like Rich said, I'll take the 8 in Heavenly Sunday, and I'll pass it off to Ray. Ray.
I went to the inside. Well, a couple pats inside. Number 3, Malimu, Jack
Ooh.
Sisterson, Julian Leparoux. This is another horse that come from Ireland. First time out, and she won. Then she went to Gulfstream, and she broke very poorly, 11th, and she came charging for second at 8-1. So, same reason. I'm hoping that the second race here, she should be remarkable to the turf here, and also stretching out is a good angle for Sisterston, and it's a good trainer, Rockingham Ranch. They're pretty good in these type of races and stuff, and they're a good outfit. So I'm just hoping there's enough pace here that probably should be, and she could get a good trip and improve. She's stepping up a little bit, so hoping she can improve in her third start. And but she closed pretty good last time. So Malibu for me. Malibu, Malibu,
No,
Malibu.
that was my actually it was my backup choice. I had
Ah,
the 8, I have the 8 and 3. I thought it
yeah.
was interesting. And Joe and Ray, you guys, That's Rockingham Ranch that owns this horse.
Mm.
That's out here in California.
But Rich, you passed under the golfing horse. Oh, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I know. I know. I
You can't pick all of them, I know.
I can't pick them all exactly. So
But a pick four, I'm sure you'll be in there.
and again, I've kind of developed this thing for Brad Cox's horses as well. So
Yeah,
all right, here we
the
go.
Godolphin.
Yeah, the Godolphin horse was
Wow.
in. So we had a Godolphin horse was Padma,
Oh
with Bill
yeah.
with Bill Mott. If you saw this, Sweet Lou's Got Aces. That's a Gary Barber horse.
Mm.
Uh, there, there was quite again. You picked up on the Rockingham Ranch, which I couldn't help but I'm like, that's from
In a
California out here.
in a pick four, this will be a maybe a possible all.
This could be exactly. This could be it all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
none of us end up on the favorite. So I end up here with a.
Right.
But and interestingly enough, I was if I had time today, I thought I would look this up. I have no idea who that is. Maya Comet Farm. Heard that one before. All right. Nonetheless, all right. We've got our picks in for the first three legs. This is the finale. This is the reason that we're here at Gulfstream Park today, and not at Santa Anita, which actually has a companion race for Kentucky Derby points as well. But we kind of like our Gulfstream Park here at the opening of the season. We're going a mile and a 16th on the main surface. It is the Holy Bull Stakes. It's a grade three. Purse is $250,000. It's for 3 year olds only. As I mentioned, the winner of this race will be awarded 20 Kentucky Derby points. Second place is going to be getting 8 points. Third, 6, 4, and 2 for fourth and fifth place, respectively. Your morning line favorite is here in post number 4. It is Cyclone Mischief, trained by Dale Romans, ridden by Tyler Gaffleone, and that horse is 2-1 on the Gulfstream Park morning line. And Joe, why don't you go ahead and lead us off in the finale?
Yeah, Cyclone Mischief looks like he might get the best trip, but I'm going back. I'm going back to the well. Give me the 8 Rocket Can for Billy Mott and Junior Alvarado. Obviously, a very successful weekend last weekend at Pegasus World Cup with Art Collector. Um, again, we've talked about the track profile playing the outside speed. It does even at a mile and a 16. And the horse that Rocket Can got beat by last time confidence game was third, last out to Instant Coffee in the Lecompton Fairgrounds. So it's not like Rocket Can
Mhm.
lost to a tomato can. And again, the Cyclone Mischief could definitely work out a trip here. But I'm going to take a little bit more of a price. And like I said, the Mott Alvarado team did well for me last week. Give me the 8 Rocket Can. Right.
Well, for me, this race came up kind of light as far as the I was talent wise, but growing 3 year olds. I believe some of them are just waiting for the fountain of youth, and the ones that raced last year in the Breeders' Cup, the juvenile, probably waiting for another week, another month actually. So, but there's I mean, a lot of horses come out of the Mucho Macho Man stakes. So,
Mhm.
but I'm on your horse, Joe, the Rocket Can. Um, yeah, he looks like he's got some good figures in the maiden races, and he raced in Churchill, and like you said, he ran second to Conference game, and he did Bricker's maiden, and they're in the 90s and the Bridgenet figures, so that's pretty competitive for this race, this type of group, and you get a slight of a price, of course with everybody pounding on Pletcher again, or actually I'd be pounding on the Romans horse, so I'll go with the 8. Hopefully won't be too much on the outside because Gulfstream has a tendency of being more of an inside, drawing inside is better. I did like load miles, but you know, I'll choose the 8. So and Rocket Canfree. Rich?
I was a little surprised when I handicapped this back page. I was surprised to see that even at a mile and a 16th on the dirt, that you see, such a such
Hmm.
a such a track bias to the again those early
Yeah.
speed favorites and like that. Again, reminding me a little bit of Sweet Home Santa Anita for me out here. Um, I guess after playing Gulfstream Park for as many years as I have now, I thought I should be a little bit more used to that. But I decided to play that early speed angle up here. I thought I was taking at least a little bit of a shot outside. It's one of the local trainers, so Rohan Crichton actually used to be a jockey down there at Gulfstream Park. But as you see there, he hits at 21%, although um, strikingly enough, he doesn't really have all that good of a record there in graded stakes races, which that's exactly what this is. This is a graded stakes race, which, by the way, could possibly get you into the Kentucky Derby, or at least assist in getting you into the Kentucky Derby with 20 Kentucky Derby points. Last year, we saw a local horse that was trained by Safi Joseph. That was White Abario, and he was the one who came out and eventually won the Florida Derby and punched his ticket. So this is what I'm kind of doing this year. I'll go ahead and go with Crichton. Again, aware that his record there in grade stakes not exactly wonderful, but here he is. Again, have you heard me mention be wearing the undefeated horse? And this horse is undefeated, in my opinion. At least he finished across the finish line in all three of his races. And the Macho Man Stakes, unfortunately, they did have to push him back to second for interference on the second horse there. But obviously, the horse likes to win. And he's by Shackelford, who was a very nice horse back in his day. Joe, I know this is one of those things that irritates you, and quite frankly, it irritates me as well, as you see there. Emismail Jaramillo, a very good jockey and a very good early gate rider there down in Gulfstream Park. He gets the nod for all three of this horse's first starts. And then, sure enough, here we go with the Holy Bull Stakes. And you're going to go with, well, no argument, really. One of the best jockeys in the country, Luis Saez, actually gets the leg up here. But with an undefeated horse, and again, taking a little bit of a shot with that local angle, and Luis Saez working together with him, I'm going to go ahead and go with Legacy Isle, the number 6.
Richard, it's funny. It doesn't really piss me off at this point in the season because you're still in February. You still got time to go.
Good point.
It's
Good point.
when if Jaramillo had ridden the horse all the way through the Florida Derby,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden the Kentucky Derby they decide to go to side. That's what it pisses me off.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Because it's like the guy's got you. What's that old adage? You dance with the girl you went with,
They brought you there, yeah.
the guy who brought you. I mean, that's when it pisses me off. At this point in the year, I mean, and Rich, you would know better than I. Jaramillo is not hurt, correct?
I don't think so. I believe he's been right.
Because I mean,
I'm sure
he wasn't. I don't think he was listed as a rider in any four races we covered, and maybe he is earlier on the card. But like I said, I hadn't looked at any earlier, so
take
I
a
mean, unless he's hurt. Oh yeah, no, it looks like
he's got his normal work. He's got his normal working day ahead of him.
Yeah.
So
Well, then, I mean, again, at this point in the season, I'm not too worried about it because the other thing is, if Saez gets a better mount somewhere else, he could just as easily jump off this horse,
and it could be coming back.
Jaramillo could end up back. So
That's
Yeah.
it goes both ways.
And for those of you who are fans of the Brisnet page, and if you haven't seen this before, then the very back page is indeed like an index, if you like, for the racing form. And that's you can look up the name of the horse, you can actually look up the name of the trainer, and as you saw me do just there, you can actually take a look at the index of the jockeys as well, so you can tell where they're all appearing. And if anybody has scratched at this point in time, then that'll actually also be down there if for whatever reason you need that. So. All right, guys.
Beware of the jockey who's there for one race.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you,
It's an angle, and
it's an angle people use. I'm telling you. Yeah.
All right. Do those look correct to you guys? You got your picks in correctly.
mine are correct.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and come on back to everybody, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up for the evening. That's how we do it here on Tournament Horse Racing. Each individual player making their win place bets throughout the day. We will stay in touch tomorrow. We will be going ahead and add in Stephen Newsom's picks to those. As we are only on the second racing day, I know Steve's not going to want to miss out on that, so he's got to be involved in that. Joe or Ray, have you got anything you want to add before we go ahead and wrap it up for the night?
Which I'm assuming you do still post this on YouTube, correct?
This goes to YouTube. It goes to
Okay.
Twitter. I try and blast as
Okay.
many channels as I can.
What we should do is just make sure that Steve's picks are blasted on social media.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hopefully he'll. Yeah,
Either after or with, depending on when he gets to,
yeah,
just so that everybody's on the
Mm.
same page.
absolutely.
And of course, if there are any scratches or changes, we should probably post that wherever
Yeah.
on
Mm.
social media. What time is post, Rich, for the ninth race? I put my CCs. Oh wait, no.
And
Well, I guess it's 3:46.
3:46. Yeah, 12:46
Okay,
your time.
There we go.
so right about lunchtime out here on the West Coast, before Ray puts the first log on the fire and stuff.
All right, everybody.
Well,
Thank you so
I
much.
want I
Oh,
want to pay tribute to Holy Bull, who is one of my favorite horses, and I tell you, he was easy to see on the track. He was gray,
no,
but
that's
Holy Bull was a damn good horse, man. He won the Travers and he won a
He
lot
was
of good
also always
races,
in front.
and he's always in front.
that was in front.
Holy Bull, you catch him, and but he won some good races, and he was definitely. I was sad to see on his beginning 4-year-old, he just fell apart a couple races and they retired him, but he had a damn good 3-year-old season, tremendous. So the Holy Bowl.
Nice. All right. Well, there we go, folks. That's how we do it here on Tournament Horse Racing. Once again, I'm your host. My name is Rich Sharp. For Ray Torado and for Joe English, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week. We'll actually stay right there in Florida. We're going to be at Tampa. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Good luck at the windows.
Good night.